Well, we presented before both the commission and other committee that if nothing drastic is done, there's going to be blood on the street. And I do hope that our executive authorities are going to do something big about this. It cannot be left like this. If we, as security cluster, the people who are charged with the responsibility of protecting citizens, we are playing with their lives, then government must remove all of us and start afresh. That means we don't deserve to be here because we are busy playing games. And that's not what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be here and executing our task. Us as colleagues must be able to talk to each other and get along. But it's clear that we are not getting along. And it's clear that there's fight amongst us. And if that fight we should bring to the attention of our leaders, and if there's no intervention on that side, I'm afraid, but there's something big might happen in this country.
Something is deeply wrong when a senior police general warns that if nothing drastic is done, there will be blood on the streets. Those words did not come from an activist seeking attention. They came from Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, a man with direct knowledge of realities most citizens never see. When someone in such a position sounds the alarm, people naturally ask whether South Africa is approaching a dangerous turning point. What do you think? Would you ignore such a warning? For many South Africans, fear has become part of everyday life. Stories about hijackings, kidnappings, gang violence, extortion, and political killings have become so common that some people barely react anymore. Entire communities now believe criminals operate with greater confidence than the authorities meant to stop them. Do you think public trust is disappearing? Many citizens certainly believe so. Mkhwanazi's warning reflects years of frustration over the inability of the state to effectively deal with organized crime and violent networks. South Africa has repeatedly faced allegations that corruption and criminal influence have penetrated institutions that should have remained protected. Every scandal weakens confidence and leaves ordinary people wondering who can still be trusted. The tragedy is that millions feel abandoned. Citizens pay taxes and expect safety in return, yet many now depend on private security and community patrols because they no longer trust the system to protect them. That reality raises difficult questions about governance and accountability. If people lose faith in the state, what happens next? Political leaders have spent years blaming one another. Opposition parties accuse the government of incompetence and corruption, while those in power accuse critics of exploiting problems for political gain. Meanwhile, ordinary citizens remain trapped between endless political battles and harsh realities. Does finger-pointing solve anything? Most people would probably say no. The African National Congress carries enormous historical significance, but decades in power have also brought accusations of corruption, state capture, and leadership failures. Supporters argue that the country inherited massive challenges, while critics insist too many opportunities have been wasted. These debates continue to divide the nation and shape public opinion. The years associated with state capture left scars that have not fully healed. Allegations involving politicians, business interests, and weakened institutions exposed how vulnerable democracy can become when accountability disappears. Although inquiries uncovered disturbing details, many South Africans remain frustrated by the slow pace of justice. Some even ask whether justice delayed has become justice denied. Crime itself has become highly sophisticated. Syndicates involved in drugs, illegal mining, extortion, and contract killings have expanded their influence. Fighting such networks requires effective institutions and strong political will. Without those elements, victories become temporary while criminals continue adapting and growing stronger. That is why General Mkhwanazi's statement touched a nerve. Many interpreted his words as evidence that those on the front lines are warning the nation. If experienced law enforcement officials are worried, should the rest of society be worried too? It is a question that many people are now asking. South Africa's economic challenges have intensified the crisis. High unemployment, especially among young people, creates frustration and desperation. Entire communities feel excluded from opportunities and trapped in poverty. Economic hardship does not justify crime, but it creates conditions where instability can grow. Many South Africans now speak openly about a crisis of leadership. They wonder whether those in power truly understand the depth of public frustration. Increasingly, people believe politicians spend more time protecting careers than solving problems. Such sentiments are becoming common across political lines. Despite everything, honest police officers, prosecutors, judges, journalists, and activists continue fighting to defend democracy. Their efforts often receive little attention, overshadowed by scandal and failure. Yet without them, the situation might be far worse than it already is. History shows that societies rarely collapse overnight. Problems accumulate gradually, and institutions weaken slowly. Trust disappears piece by piece. That is why warnings like the one issued by Mkhwanazi resonate so strongly. They remind people that ignoring problems never makes them disappear. Young South Africans face enormous uncertainty. They inherit a nation with tremendous potential, but also serious challenges. Many hear stories about liberation and democracy, but struggle to see opportunities in their own lives. Their frustrations should concern everyone because hopelessness can become dangerous. Communities across the country continue to demonstrate resilience. Citizens organize local initiatives and create solutions where government has failed. These efforts show that many people have not abandoned hope. They still believe change is possible, even when optimism feels fragile. The greatest danger is allowing frustration to become rage. Societies become unstable when people conclude that peaceful systems no longer work. That is why warnings about blood on the streets carry such emotional weight. They evoke fears of chaos and violence that nobody wants to witness. Some may view General Mkhwanazi's statement as an exaggeration. Others see it as a wake-up call. Whatever one's opinion, the fact remains that such words came from someone with experience and responsibility. That alone demands reflection rather than dismissal. South Africa has overcome impossible challenges before. It avoided catastrophe when many expected disaster. Those achievements revealed remarkable resilience. But history also teaches that past victories do not guarantee future success. And perhaps that is what makes this moment so unsettling. The warning has been issued. Public anger is visible. The questions are multiplying. Yet whether those with power truly understand the seriousness of the situation remains uncertain. And if those responsible for protecting society are already sounding the alarm, perhaps the most troubling question is whether anyone will act before the country reaches a point from which there may be no easy return.